I think it made me cry once. I like a book that can make me cry but not destroy me for the whole night, you know what I'm saying? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Janice. I am 23 years old. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Today I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in June, and I'm just going to give like a brief synopsis and how I felt about the book. Just a little disclaimer, I am not like a bookaholic, only really in the summer because I seem to lose focus when I become a graduate student again in the fall through to the beginning of summer. I kind of get lost in my education and life, and I really wanted to use this time that I have this summer to get back into reading and putting it into my routine before I go to bed. And I was able to read quite a bit of books, more so than I usually do, which is 0. I have always gone to BookCon every year, which was canceled this year, unfortunately, due to COVID-19, amongst many other venues. However, I still have a love for books. I just wanted to share with you guys what I read this month. Also, another disclaimer, I started reading in the middle of the month, so I don't have a lot of books, but hopefully for July I'll have more books read. Now, I'm gonna have some heaters, but the first thing I read was The Kissing Booth 2, Going the Distance. I watched the movie when it came out on Netflix last year, or 2 years ago, I don't even remember. I think it was last year. And I really enjoyed it. It was one of those things, one of those movies where you could sit down and just turn your brain off, and I like that from time to time. I do like a good movie that'll make me think, but for that moment, it was good. It's romantic, comedy, drama type teenager thing, which I know I'm kind of old for now, but I really don't care. I like that stuff. Anyway, I picked up this book at Target. Yes, it was 20% off. And I have the red card from Target, so I got the extra 5. No promo, but just saying, Target sponsor me. This book, out of a rating scale of 10, I'm gonna give it like a 7.5. It was good, but I felt like they introduced a love triangle type of thing, and I felt like Noah was, well, I guess, spoiler alert ahead, if you have not read this book, skip over this, but I felt like Noah was low-key gaslighting her when he was in college. He wasn't communicating enough, and it led to a lot of miscommunication, which was very frustrating. I'm like, this could have all been solved if he just called her and spoke to her for like 2 minutes. So yeah, that's how I felt like about that. That's why I wouldn't really rate it too high. Definitely, if you're looking for something to get you back into reading. Normally for me, it's very hard to get back into reading after not reading. So this was a good like get out there type of book, but it wasn't a good like, oh, I'm satisfied with this reading after type of book. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's enough. I will be watching the Netflix film when it comes out though, just to compare. I always like to compare. The next book is a bit more serious. It is very more serious and a drastic change from what I was reading. I picked this book up, I want to say maybe a year or 2 ago at BookCon, and I never had the chance to read it until now. Yes, like I said, I went through a fallout of reading. But this book is called The Tattooist of Auschwitz, and I was in the mood for a true story and for something that was going to emotionally, not affect me, but emotionally self-reflect. This book was about a man named Lael, I'm gonna mess this last name up, Lael Sokolov, and how he's transferred to the Auschwitz camp and he becomes the tattooist of Auschwitz, which I never really thought about that, how they had people tattooed, which I knew that, but I didn't know that they made Jewish people do that, and I also didn't know what the day in the life and the routine was with that and what they had to do. It was just one of those books that helped frame your reality, and it made me feel more appreciative about my life, and I am just so thankful to be living this life. People that have gone through this experience and have lived through it, have not lived through it. People who have lived through this experience enough to tell the tale and to write about it and to keep history true and rich. This was a powerful love story and a true story. If you guys are interested in something like that, this is definitely the book to go. Yes, disclaimer, you will cry maybe 4 or 5 times because that's how much I cried. Okay, next book. I actually got this one autographed when I was at BookCon last year, and it's called Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell. It was a cute little story about friendship during the fall time. I love fall. I can't wait for fall. I love sweaters. I hate heat. Like right now, the back of my knees are sweating, but you guys can't see it, but they're sweating. I'm actually like dying. But anyway, I love a great graphic novel. Like after I read The Tattooist of Auschwitz, I kind of needed something that would keep me engaged, but also I could take a break a little. So I like a good graphic novel for that. I feel like if you want a book that doesn't strain you too much, like emotionally, this is a perfect book. It's just about how these 2 friends, they work on a pumpkin patch every year, but they don't talk outside of the pumpkin patch, but they're very close when they're working, and how they're about to leave and go to college next year and they won't be working on the patch, and it's just about self-discovery, adolescence, and I thought it was a really great book. I would definitely recommend this book. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It was really good. I'm excited. This book was my next book. It's called The Prince and the Dressmaker. What a whirlwind of emotions this one was. Yes, also another graphic novel, but it shakes you and it takes you for a surprise. It's about this prince named Prince Sebastian. He's looking for a bride, but really low-key doesn't want one. He puts on dresses at night, and he dresses up and goes out in Paris, in the streets of Paris, and he basically works it. At night, he goes out in Paris, and he goes as an alter ego. His name is Lady Crystalia, and he is just one of like the hottest fashion icons at night, and no one knows it's really the prince. Sebastian's secret weapon is obviously who makes his dresses, his dressmaker. And this book is basically about him finding himself, defining his self-identity, and at the same time developing friendships and relationships and becoming more comfortable in his own body and expressing himself. I truly love this. I think it made me cry once. I like a book that can make me cry but not destroy me for the whole night, you know what I'm saying? This is one book that I went into expecting to already like it, so I had that expectation and then it exceeded that expectation. So, yeah. Okay guys, now a little bit strange, but the last book is called My Boyfriend is a Bear. It's a graphic novel. I, after reading The Prince and the Dressmaker, didn't have any graphic novels left on my bookshelf, and I needed one. I just needed another graphic novel. So I just checked out Amazon, and this was the book that I was like, okay, sure. It is just a very quirky and innocent, but also raunchy, because some of the things that the bear does or the bear says is like, okay. It's about a woman who comes upon a bear in her backyard. Then she like lets him in, and they end up starting a relationship. At first I was like, this is just very far-fetched. I feel like I'm reading a kid's book. But then it starts to get low-key sexual, and I'm like I didn't even know how to act. But overall, I did like it. It was very romantic-ish. I don't know how to explain this without feeling weird. Just, if you're interested in it, it's on Amazon. It was relatively cheap, and it was a good graphic novel. Okay guys, so that about wraps it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you did. Share with me books you're reading this month or this past month, whatever. I'm back in the reading zone and I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.